Hi everyone! So today we're going to learn JavaScript functions. Okay, so what is JavaScript functions? A JavaScript function is a block of code designed to perform a particular task. A JavaScript function is executed when something invokes it or calls it. So why functions? We can reuse code, define the code once, and use it many times. We can use the same code many times with different arguments to produce different results. Okay, so JavaScript function syntax. A JavaScript function is defined with the function keyword, followed by the name or the function name, then followed by parentheses. Function names can contain letters, digits, underscores, and dollar signs. Same rules as variables. The parentheses may include parameter names separated by commas, kagaya nito. So basically, yung parameter names, hindi yan fixed na parameter 1, parameter 2. It's up to you kung ano yung pangalan ng parameter na ilalagay nyo. Okay? So the code to be executed by the function is placed inside the curly brackets. Okay? Okay, so ito naman yung sample function syntax natin. So basically, dito yung function keyword. Then dito naman yung function name na ilalagay natin. So it's up to you guys what kind of function name are you going to set. Then dito, yung mga parameters natin. So it's just optional lang naman. Pwedeng wala, pwede ring meron. So within the curly brackets, dito natin ilalagay yung mga codes natin. Okay? Okay, so function parameters are listed inside the parentheses in the function definition. So basically, optional lang siya. Function arguments are the values received by the function when it is invoked. So later on, pag-uusapan naman natin kung ano yung paano natin i-invoke or tatawagin yung isang function. Then, inside the function, the arguments or parameters behave as local variables. Okay? Then we have yung a function is much the same as a procedure or a subroutine in other programming languages. Okay guys? Okay, so ito naman yung sample function natin na ginawa. So we use here yung function keyword. Then we specify the function name. So basically yung ginawa natin is display name. So dito, ito na yung executable code. So basically yung mangyayari dito, it will write in the part of the HTML element with having an ID of demo to set this value, okay, which is Raymond. Okay, so semicolons are used to separate executable JavaScript statements. Okay, so since a function declaration is not an executable statement, it is not common to end it with a semicolon. Kaya as you can notice here, wala siyang semicolon. Kasi basically nga, hindi pa naman siya executable. Pero itong nasa loob niya are the executable statements. So kaya mapapansin nyo dito na meron na siyang semicolon. Okay? Okay, so function invocations. The code inside the function will execute when something invokes or calls the function, like when an event occurs when the user clicks a button, when it is invoked or called from JavaScript code, or just automatically, or yung tinatawag nating self-invoke. Okay? Okay, so let's start now the invoking a function when an event occurs. So, meron tayo ditong sample code. Okay, so when a user click a button, it will invoke the function display name. Okay, so we have here the paragraph element with an ID of demo. Then, dito naman yung button natin. And, dito yung function natin, which is yung display name. Okay, so as you can notice here, meron tayong attribute na onClick. So, this is an HTML event. So, i-handle yan ng JavaScript event na part. Now, yung mangyari dito, once this button is clicked, it will try to call this function. So, mapupunta siya dito and execute this statement. Now, once it is executed, then the Raymond string here will be displayed in this element. Okay? Okay, so now let's try to jump to my code and test this particular example. Okay? Okay, so ito yung code natin. So dadagdagan ko na lang yung mga iba pang code. So yung button. Then may nakalagay doon na display my name. Display my name. Then meron tayong attribute na onClick. And yung function na tinawag natin dito is yung display name. Okay, so itong function, gagawin natin yan dito. So, create a function keyword, then the function name, open close parenthesis, yung curly brackets. Now, dito, we're going to set the document that get element by ID to manipulate the output, or to display the output rather, by ID. Then, yung ID element na gusto natin kunin will be the demo. And inner HTML equals to Raymond. Okay, save natin. And punta tayo sa site, refresh natin to. Yan. So once I click this one, a name should display here. Let's try. Yan. So that's one of the event or one of the thing or ways on invoking a function, which is using yung event. Okay? There are a lot of event na pwede nating magamit, guys. So if you're interested, just like I mentioned earlier, you can watch our other videos regarding JavaScript events. Okay? Okay, so next is invoking a function from JavaScript code. Okay, so we have here yung sample code natin. So basically, this is the common way to invoke a JavaScript function. So first, of course, we need to define yung function. Then, once it is already defined, we can now call it kagaya nito. We just use yung function name niya. Then, open close parenthesis. Then, if it requires to end up with a semicolon, then ilagay nyo. Okay, so let's try that one. I'm here with my code. Ngayon, if we try to run this one or refresh this one, so basically, hindi siya nag-output. Now, if we're going to use yung kanina na way pag-invoke ng function, which is we need to call the function name, open close parenthesis, then semicolon, if it needs to. Then, if we try to refresh, automatically, natatawag na siya. Kasi yung nangyari dito, after executing all the statements here, so madadaanan to and it will execute and invoke this function and execute the code within the function. So yun ang nangyayari. Okay? Okay? So let's try to visit muna yung site natin. Okay, so let's try to refresh. So currently, yung output na di-display if we click the button. Okay, so basically, yung nangyayari dito is using the event. So let me try to refresh again para mawala yung output. Then, so yung gagawin naman natin ngayon is to do yung second way of invoking a function, which is we need to specify the function name, then open close parenthesis, then if there's a need na lagyan ng semicolon, then lagyan natin. Then save, then refresh natin. Okay, so that's how we invoke a function using yung JavaScript code. Okay? Okay, next is yung self-invoking function. Functions can be invoked automatically without being called. So we have here yung syntax natin. So dito naman sa loob, ilalagay natin yung mga JavaScript code natin. Okay, so the function above is actually an anonymous self-invoking function or a function without name. So ito na yung sample code natin. So basically, dito natin ilalagay yung statement natin. Okay, so let's try that one. Okay, so let's try yung self-invoking anonymous function dito. So as you can see kanina, parang confusing yung syntax ng self-invoking anonymous function natin, no? So yung gagawin lang natin ganito. Dalawang open close parenthesis, then end it up with a semicolon. Then sa loob dito, lagyan natin ng function, open close parenthesis, then the curly brackets. Then, yun na yung self-invoking anonymous function natin. Okay? Ngayon, dito na natin ilalagay yung mga statement natin. So, let me just copy this one. And let me just delete this one kasi hindi naman natin gagamitin yan. Okay, save natin. I-refresh natin to. Yan. So, automatically, tinatawag pa rin siya. So, bakit kailangan natin ganito? Lagyan ng ganito. If kung tutusin naman guys, pwede naman natin ilagay dito sa labas. And, let's try to comment this one lang muna. And run the code. Refresh. Yun. Same output pa rin naman, di ba? So, ito yung, let me share it to you guys. Ano ba yung advantage if in using self-invoking anonymous function? So, let me give you a scenario. Let's say you're in a team of making a web application and the three of you are working with a JavaScript. So, let's say yung lead developer nyo gumawa ng isang script sa taas kasi may nilagay siyang ang mga global variables. So, sabihin natin he declare yung total dito. Sabihin natin mayroong 100. So, ngayon, yung isa mong ka-teammate is gumawa rin ng script pero sa baba. Okay? So, dito niya nilagay yung script niya. So, let's say, gumawa rin ako ng isang statement displaying yung total. Okay? So, I guess, gawin natin dalawa to. So, yung isa is focus on H2 and yung isa is sa paragraph. Then, dito lagyan natin ng 1 at ito yung ID para hindi lang mag-conflict. Now, yung reference ko ganito. Okay? So, if I try to run this codes, yung mangyayari is that refresh natin, may 100. Okay? So, okay yung output. Nagwo-work naman siya. Okay naman. Ngayon, ito. What if magdagdag ako ng variable na total? Or sabihin natin, dito na ako, magko-code na ako. Ngayon, hindi ko alam na meron palang total variable sa taas. So, gumawa lang akong ng sarili kong variable na sabihin natin total. And equal siya sa 50. Then, dito, I try to display yung code natin. Then, using yung demo2 na ID. So, save ko yan. Refresh natin. What do you think guys will be the output? The output will be both of them having a 50 na value. Which is hindi dapat. Kasi dito sa taas, dapat 100. Kasi, yung statement na to is basically expecting the variable na nasa taas, hindi yung nasa baba. Kasi dito, this is just your own code or my own code. So, gumawa lang ako ng ganito to serve as my local variable. Diba? So, in that case, nagkakaroon ng conflict. So, what's the solution? Yung solution is, ilagay natin to sa loob ng isang self-invoking anonymous function. Okay? So, if we try to refresh, yan. So, here, the first part, the statement here, yung ina-access niyang total will be this one. while yung pangalawa is yung ina-access kong total is yung local variable ko. Okay? So that's the good thing about using yung self-invoking anonymous function. You can create yung mga local variables. So no need to worry na magkaroon ka ng conflict with the global variable, kagaya dito. Okay? So that's the good thing about using yung self-invoking. So I hope nakatulong tong idea kung paano nyo ba parang paano kayo makaka-avoid sa mga variable conflict. Okay, para yung output na na-expect mo is tama. Okay guys? Okay, so function parameters and arguments. Function parameters are the names listed in the function definition. So function arguments are the real values passed to and received by the function. So we have here yung syntax natin. Basically, nilalagay natin yung mga parameters natin sa loob ng parenthesis. Okay? Okay, so we have naman dito yung function natin. So basically, we define a function having a name of add number. Then, meron tayong parameters, two parameters, which is yung num1 at saka yung num2. Now, we have here yung mga codes natin. Okay? So to call the function, basically we do it like this, and we pass the arguments. So in this case, we pass 7 and 3. So if this code runs, the output will be 10. Okay guys, so now let's try that one on our code. Okay, so now let me try to remove other codes here. So all throughout yung mga discussion na natin guys, we're going to use self-invoking anonymous function para at least hindi tayo mag-conflict with the other variables. So let me try to remove this one para at least maging malinis ng bahagya. Okay, so let me delete this one and put it back to demo. So okay, so let me create muna yung function, yung add number. Then, sa loob ng function, meron tayong num1 and num2. Tapos, dito, we declare a var sum equals num1 plus num2. Okay? Then, we have here yung document that get element by id to display our output. id. Then it will be demo, then inner HTML. Okay, then yung value will be sum. Now to run that code, we need to call the function add number, open close parenthesis, then set our arguments. Save and refresh. Yan, 10. Okay, so that's how we manage yung function natin na mayroong parameters. Okay guys? Okay, so the next is use parameter defaults. If a function is called with a missing argument, the value of the missing argument is set to undefined. Undefined values can break your code. That is why it is a good habit to assign a default values to arguments. So, ito yung code natin kanina, basically. Okay? So, if we call that function without passing any argument, and basically, since yung process natin dito is mayroong calculation, so yung mangyayari is that, yung magiging output will be ganito. None or not a number. Okay? So, to avoid that kind of output, especially kung may mga calculation tayong ginagawa, we can set yung sinasabing default parameters, which is gagawin natin sa mga parameter first. So, magsaset tayo ng value. Since we talk about here yung mga numbers, so we can set it to 0. So, kung string naman yung in-expect nating value, is we can set here an empty string. Okay guys? Para at least, kung i-process man natin dito, yung magiging total or the sum of the result will be 0 lang. It will not cause some error. Okay guys? Okay, so let's try that one in our code para at least makita natin kung ano ba talaga yung nangyayari. Okay? Okay, so the first thing na gagawin natin is to remove muna yung argument. Save. And refresh natin. Yan. So that's the thing na sinasabi ko kanina. Since we have here yung operation or yung we try to calculate a number, so ina-expect ng operator dito na this is a number and this is also a number. Okay? So, technically kasi, yung value natin dito, yung num1 at saka sa num2 is undefined. So, basically, undefined is not a number. Kaya, nagkakaroon tayo ng error pagdating dito and yung ipinapasa sa sum is none or not a number. So, to solve that one na hindi siya magkaroon ng ganong output na none, we can just set it here, yung value natin as the default value. So, once we refresh that here, so yung sum na or the default value natin or result will be 0. So, if we pass a value, sabihin natin 6 for the first parameter and refresh, may 6 siya. Ipasa natin 4 for the second parameter, then refresh, then meron ng 10. Okay? So, that's how we can use yung default parameter pagdating sa mga function para at least we can avoid any unexpected error if ever hindi natin lagyan ng argument. Okay guys? Okay, so next is function return. So when JavaScript reaches a return statement, the function will stop executing. Okay, so if the function was invoked from a statement, JavaScript will return to execute the code after the invoking statement. Okay, so functions often compute a return value. The return value is returned back to the caller. Okay, so we have here yung sample code natin. So instead of displaying it directly here, yung statement natin kanina, so, yung ginawa ko is that we just return or put the return keyword so that yung sum mare-return yung value niya papunta sa caller. Okay? So, sino sinasabing caller? Yung sinasabing caller is this one. This is how we call or how we invoke a function, right? So, this is the caller. Now, we pass an argument of 7 and 3. After processing this one, it will return the sum, which is basically 10. So, dito naman, we need to have someone that will hold the value na ibinalik or na return, which is, in this case, we use x. So, after that, we can now set it for displaying purpose. So, we can do it something like this. Document get element by ID, then the inner HTML equals yung x variable. Okay? Or we can do it something like this as well. Na no need to declare yung variable. Instead, we can just directly call the function here. Okay? So once the value is returned or the result is returned, then it will display on our element. Okay guys? So let's try that one. Okay, so the first thing na gagawin natin is to declare a variable and initialize it with 0 para hindi mag-undefined. Now, ito naman, let me just cut this one and paste it here lang muna. Then, I'm going to return the sum. Okay, so we have here yung caller natin. Then, yung gagawin natin dito is to set the variable x para once it invokes this code or this function rather, the return value will be caught by the variable x. Now, yung variable x, pwede na natin ilagay dito. And save, run, same output pa rin. So, lagay tayo ng different argument. Refresh. Okay, so it works. So, basically, what is the good thing ba pagdating sa return? Okay, the good thing about using returns that we can control the output or the result of the return of value of this function. Let's say I want to add text on the function, on the result. Sabihin natin the sum is, save and refresh. Yan, control natin. So, let's say gusto ko pang mag-output ng iba. So, gawa ako ng other element dito. Gawin ko tong 2. And I can access that 2 here. 2. So, instead of making a variable, let's say I want to ilagay natin dito and set another argument. Sabihin kong 300. Okay, then refresh tayo. So may 300. Now, gusto kong merong text kagaya dito. So pwede rin ako maglagay dito. Sabihin natin the second result is save, then refresh. Yan. So that's the good thing about using yung function o yung return sa function. Nakokontrol natin yung magiging output. So for example pa, before natin i-display dito yung x, we also want to calculate. Sabihin natin yung x, o declare tayo ng isa pang variable. Sabihin natin y equals to 0. So kung ano man yung result ng x, gusto kong mag-add ng additional 10. Then, yung ilalagay natin dito, of course, yung y. Okay? Then, refresh. So, naging 114 na. Okay? So, that's the good thing about having the return in a function kasi mas nakukontrol natin yung result niya. We can concatenate it with a string or we can recalculate it with another value, mga ganon. Okay, so that's the good thing for having a return in our function. Okay, guys? Okay, so this is the last part. So local variables. Variables declared within a JavaScript function become local to the function. Local variables can only be accessed from within the function. So we have here yung sample natin. Okay? So we have yung add number, yung mga parameters, yung mga codes. Now, kung maglalagay ako ng code dito accessing the sum, hindi pwede. Kung dito naman, accessing the sum, hindi rin pwede. But within the function, then pwede ko siyang magamit. Okay? So, kagaya ng ginawa natin pagdating sa yung self-invoking anonymous function, yung mga global variable na a-access siya nung nasa babang code. But, yung nasa loob na nung anonymous function, in which it is also a function, nagiging local na. So, hindi na siya na-access ng other part of the JavaScript. Kasi local lang yung variable na yun. Okay? So that is about local variables. So since local variables are only recognized inside their functions, variables with the same name can be used in different functions. Okay? So local variables are created when a function starts and deleted when the function is completed. Okay? So that's only the idea about local variables natin. Para hindi kayo ma-confuse kung bakit hindi mo na-access yung mga variables mo although nag-declare ka naman sa function. It is because the variable within the function is a local variable. Okay, guys? Okay, so I think that's it, guys. So I hope you learned something new today. So basically, we had learned about sa JavaScript functions. So, napag-aralan natin kung ano ba yung sinasabing functions, how we define functions, paano ba natin i-invoke yung isang function, how we pass or set a parameters in a functions, then yung sinasabing return pagdating sa functions, and yung local variable, which is the last part. So I think that's it. Just like I always say, guys, just keep practicing and never stop learning. So let's call it a day. Thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye for now.